Hey guys, it's Libby, and I'm over on the couch today for a bit of a different kind of video. I was inspired to make this by the book A Court of Thorns. I can never say it, you guys. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I really wanted to do a review on this book because I have a lot of thoughts about it. But my thoughts aren't really reviewer thoughts. The reviewer part of my brain is saying this book isn't very good, like 2 stars. And then the reader part of my brain is saying, yeah, but I really want to read the second book in the series. And then the analyst part of my brain is just shoving both of those to the side and saying, I am having such deep thoughts about like art and narrative that I can't do a review. I need to do an analysis of this book. So that's what I'm going to do. I am not finished with it yet. I have 80 pages left. I'm at the start of chapter 38, right after the deal with Reese is made. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish it in front of the camera and let you know my thoughts as they occur. Don't worry, I'll cut up all of the boring parts of me just reading. This does mean that this will be very spoilery, so I apologize if you have not read this book. If you really want me to do a spoiler-free review, let me know and I will, but there's lots of spoiler-free reviews of this book. So let me start off, before I get into the reading, with my pet theory about this book, which unfortunately requires a lot of background information. This is going to be a long video, let me just say that now. I'm sure you can tell because you can see how long this video is going to be, but I cannot. But I am predicting 20 minutes-ish is what I'm guessing. Anyway, my pet theory, which we will see if that pans out as I read. So, the Beauty and the Beast story, which this is an adaptation of, sort of comes in 3 forms. There's the original version written by, I don't remember her first name, but her last name is Le Prince, in 18th century France. In that story, Belle is the one with the character arc. The Beast is actually kind of a nice guy, and he got like unfairly turned into a monster, and so Belle is the one who needs to realize his inner beauty and get over her prejudices of his outside and realize that she loves him. Then there's the more modernized version, thank you Disney, in which his hideousness on the outside is a metaphor for his hideousness on the inside. So Belle also kind of has a character arc, but the one that's really interesting for me at least is the Beast's character arc as he learns to like actually be nice to people, and then when he learns this and purifies his inside, then he can be purified on his outside. And then there's like the ultra-modern, not postmodern, version where he doesn't have any external ugliness. It's all just the ugliness of his soul. And that the story arc is him stopping being a jerk. And I've looked at other reviews of this, and one of them said that this is not a Beauty and the Beast story because Tamlin, our romantic lead, is not hideous at all. He can turn into a wolf sometimes, but then he turns not into a wolf whenever he wants, so that doesn't count. And although he like wears a mask all the time, he is purportedly very attractive, and he's like very nice and polite. So my theory is that Feyre, our leading lady, is the one who is a beast. She is the one with the corrupted soul that hates the Fae, and she needs to be transformed in the process of this book. I think that would be genius. That would definitely up my star rating. Right now I think I'm going to give it a 3, but if that is emphasized, I'm going to make it a 4, but I fear that it will not be. So, you guys have already read the book, I'm sure. You haven't stayed, right, past the spoiler section? But I am about to find out. So, let's get going. Okay. Second housekeeping task. To the chagrin of the guards, I had completed their impossible task, but the next day they smiled at me and shoved me into a massive dark bedroom lit only by a few candles and pointed to the looming fireplace. Servants spilled lentils in the ash. Clean it up before the occupant returns, or he'll peel your skin off in strips. This is an example of one of the problems I have with this book. This task is completely derivative from both the stories Cinderella and Eros and Psyche. And a lot of things in this book feel really derivative. There's the Great Rite, which is, I'm sure that it exists in like Celtic culture. However, that scene is really reminiscent of the Beltane scene in The Mists of Avalon. Also, this whole torture by some imperious queen is very similar to both what happens to Psyche in the Eros and Psyche story, and somebody else. Oh, and Clara, the main character in Winterspell by Claire Legrand. And the bad lady who was doing this in Winterspell is named Annis. Another name that starts with A and has something to do with plants, like Amarantha. So, is anyone else picking up on these? Because I'm kind of bothered by them. One thing that I do really like about this book is that there is cursing. I'm aware that's not, like, classy for me to say, but, like, in real life, people curse, especially when shit as bad as this is happening. And so to hear characters say, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, is really satisfying and realistic. So good on you for that one, Sarah. Oh, thank God. I'm on page, let's see, I just finished 355 and now I'm on 356, where there are hints that we will learn about why Amarantha is so evil. I know we have her backstory, but, like, I don't think that really covers it. And I will not be happy if we don't get a better justification than that, but there are hints that we might, so I'll take it. Also, this book has had a pretty significant twist earlier, so I am prepared for a twist later on, and I'm kind of reserving my expectations. I think my pet theory is in trouble. Tamlin's been referred to more and more with the beast type terminology. She just calls him a beast without claws. So it looks like we are trying to make him the beast and not do a role reversal and make Feyre the beast. Why? It could have been so great. So great. Why is the last, like, 120 pages so totally different from the rest of the book? I think it's better, but honestly, I didn't know what was going to happen to take up so much space when Feyre left her home to return to the spring court. I got this. I thought everything would wrap up real fast after that, like it does in the Disney movie and also in the original fairy tale. So this is really not canon. It's really Eros and Psyche-like, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. I want to get to the end. I want to get justifications, and then we'll see. Right now, I'm on page 85. I'm about to start chapter 43, so getting close. Okay, I knew this was gonna happen. The humanization of Rhys, because I saw people saying, like, who do you ship, Feyre with, Tamlin or Rhys? And I don't know. I feel like I've had a number done on me, because yeah, he starts out looking like a jerk, and then we get to see his more human side, more elf side. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it though. I feel like the very first time we meet him, before he has all these plans, before they get under the mountain when they meet at the Great Rite, he was evil then too. If he had been less evil then, I would totally buy this. But I feel like I'm being manipulated by Sarah. But we will see. I don't know. Maybe Tamlin, or maybe Rhys is going to flip back to being evil. I don't think so, though. Oh, okay. One more thing. Can I say that the name Feyre is just not good? I am saying it correctly. There is a pronunciation guide at the back. It is pronounced, you can't see that, Feyre, 2 syllables. I got the preview. I downloaded the preview, which didn't have the pronunciation guide. And I assumed it was pronounced fair, like the F-A-I-R, a Germanic form of beauty, belle. It all works out. So I think that Feyre just doesn't work in a world where you have a huge race of people called the Fae, and then our main character, who is not a Fae, is called Feyre. Really? We couldn't think of any other name? Because it's a little confusing. It's not confusing. I know which one she is, and I know that she's not a Fae, but I feel like it would be confusing to talk about with someone. Okay. It's a little bit different. You have to kill all 3 of them, not just one. Okay. I like this 3rd task because A, it's bringing us full circle. Feyre has to murder some fairies. And also, it makes me feel better about why she is being punished. That sounds horrible. But for all of these trials and all of the threats from Amarantha, I had been like, narratively, not like, I understand the character's motivations, but when you look at the narrative as a whole and what it's saying about life and justice and that sort of thing, why does Feyre need to be punished? Either because she has done something horrible and I couldn't think of what that was. Like, she didn't say I love you when she should have, even though she had no information. And so if that's not the case, then the alternative has to be that Tamlin is the one who has to suffer by seeing his beloved go through all of this shit. But he actually didn't do anything wrong either, because he was like incapable of giving her the information that she needed. So I was like, why is this happening on a narrative level? What does this mean for Sarah J. Maas's worldview if we have to torture this poor girl when there was nothing she or Tamlin could have done to avert it? But this is bringing it back to when she killed Andras. And I definitely want to reread that part because Feyre is being punished for having hate in her heart. And when I read the when she killed Andras, that didn't come across to me. So I want to go back and reread it because I mainly remember her being like, oh, this thing's gonna either kill me or kill the deer that I'm going to eat. So either way, I'm dead if I don't kill this wolf. I think there has to be a bigger focus on her just hating him, because that's really what the rest of the story depends on. So I'm going to read the end. I'm on page 388, so very close to the end. It's 416 pages long. And then I'm going to go back and read the murder of Andras again, and I'll get back to you. The thing happened. Shit. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. Even if she kills him. Not gonna happen. I got this. I was secretly hoping that he would be ugly under his mask. Okay. I have finished. Let me go review the Andrus death quite quickly. Yeah, I think it's not quite enough, because she is never really sure that Andrus is really a fairy, and I needed a bit more fairy hatred in order for the character arc from Feyre to work. So now the reviewer part of me can come out a bit. I think I'm gonna give this a 3.5. I'll have to decide whether I mark that as a 4 or a 3 on Goodreads, because I liked the very end. I really liked the very end. When she unmasked, or the other guards unmasked Tamlin in the third trial, I was like, okay, this is awesome. Any combination of deaths or not deaths, I am going to be okay with, because I love this. I think that the rest of the trials and the rest of the part under the mountain was too long. Like, I think we could have cut that by 50%. I think we could have cut some of the trials. I think we could have cut Rhys as well. It would have been a different book, but to introduce like a love triangle so late in the game just really marked out how different the last 100 pages was from the rest of the book. And the rest of the book I think we could have cut by about 15%. But the last, 3 chapters, I really enjoyed. I still didn't really get enough justification for Amarantha's actions and why she was so ridiculously cruel. And again, I think if we had seen more hatred from Feyre in the beginning, we could have understood how much racism there is in this world, and we could have, and then that could have justified Amarantha's actions for her sister. But I think that's all I have on this book. 3.5 out of 5 stars. That may change. I will update my Goodreads if I decided to change that to a 2 or 5. Anything could really happen at this point. But yeah, let me know if you liked this video format or if it totally sucked, and I will see you again soon.